Hey, welcome to the Peanut Gamer Show, where we share our journey to building a crypto gaming studio and discuss Web3 gaming topics. I'm Joseph, the co founder of Peanut Games, and I'm here with Emmett, who's part of DAO HQ. Welcome to the show, Emmett.
Thanks for having me, Joseph.
Awesome, man. Yeah, so we met in Miami. We were at this really good sushi place. It like blew me away because I don't expect good sushi for some reason, and most sushi restaurants. And this one, I was like, oh wow, this is like Taiwan quality, or wasn't yet Japan, but it was just really good sushi. And then we had a chat just about DAOs, and I wanted to bring Emmett here so he can talk about just what a DAO is for someone who doesn't understand. But can you first tell us about DAO HQ and what you're working on?
Yeah, for sure. So first off, like what is a DAO and then what is DAO HQ? So in short, a DAO stands for Decentralized Autonomous Organization, or DAO for short. And so an easy way to think about it is it's a new way of organizing people and money on the internet. So a group of people can have a shared bank account and vote over what they want to do with those funds. That can be towards any aim. So it can be a for-profit business, it can be a fund, a philanthropy, a social group, really anything. So just giving online communities access to money that they're sovereign over. And so what we're doing at DAO HQ is we're building a platform where anyone can find, invest, and participate in DAOs. So right now, DAOs are very complicated to find, to join, and actually maintain participation. So like vote and stay up to date with what's going on. So we want to make that experience 10 times easier. So we're building DAO HQ. You can think of us like OpenSea for DAOs. So like OpenSea simplified finding and buying NFTs. DAO HQ makes it really easy to find interesting DAOs, buy their governance tokens, and then vote and stay engaged with what's going on.
Like the initial thing that pops up in my head is, um, wouldn't there be like a requirement to like, I would feel like if I just buy a little bit of the token, let's say, I'd be like, does my voice really matter? And that would be like the first question. And the second question would be like, DAO HQ, does it actually list out the requirements if there is a requirement to join the DAO?
Yes, so on the first part, that's pretty interesting. So I'd say the most common DAO structure right now is just one token, one vote. And so that's like similar to democracy. We have a lot of Western countries where a lot of people say, "Oh, okay, I'm voting against the majority. Does my vote really matter?" So you can say the same arguments with DAOs. There is an interesting concept that Vitalik talks about a lot that some DAOs have picked up called quadratic funding, or sorry, quadratic voting, which is where it's the square root of the total money that you have, so the total tokens that you have. And so in that way, it's like a log curve. So over time, adding more money, buying a huger stake, like a larger stake in the DAO, doesn't actually give you that much reward in terms of voting power. And so that incentivizes smaller holders
Ah,
to have more power.
that's it's very
And so
interesting
Vitalik's
because
very, very bullish on that. A lot of people I've noticed like the last few months, a lot of people in the DAO space are quite bearish on just one token, one vote governance for a lot of those same issues, and looking to alternate strategies. So like quadratic voting or like delegated voting.
I love how Vitalik, you see him as like this really smart guy, and he comes up with a freaking word that's like super complex. Quadratic isn't something that you hear a lot in day-to-day terms. I
Yeah,
get what it is. It's funny that like it fits the personality of him. Side comment, but that's actually a concern that something I was going to ask, right? Which is like you could unbalance things by like let's say the majority holder is like 51% or something like that, then your votes would never really matter. It wouldn't even matter that you're in a DAO. But I guess with this quadratic thing, it would make sense and it would be more fair to people to buy it. So I would imagine that if I wanted to get into a DAO, I'd be like, it better have quadratic formula or quadratic whatever because I'd be like, this is a scam. Like, not really a scam, but it'd be like, okay, well, if the three main holders are already 51%, it really doesn't matter.
yeah, no. So I think it's super important to like visualize who's in the DAO, like who has the actual voting power behind it, as well as what the mechanism is. So
Do y'all
that's
show
something that we
that
have.
on DAO HQ?
Yes, that's something we have internally right now
Oh,
that we're
wow.
we're building. So you'll be able to see it pretty soon for most DAOs. Um, yeah, slowly but surely. So we have about 2,000 DAOs right now, and you can expect to see that on about 300 DAOs in the next few weeks.
Dude, that's seriously awesome. It's like I know that y'all's vision is to become I don't remember what you told me, but let's just say like coin market cap or like crypto rank for the IDOs. But to just have like that be that one-stop shop for just checking out DAOs and understanding and not having to dig for information for so long yourself and just have it displayed for you with whatever y'all are however y'all are able to just like acquire that information and get it posted. But that's really cool. Is that pretty much right?
Yeah, and so for like the one liner, you could call us OpenSea for DAOs.
Okay. And are y'all coming out with any other cool features on DAO HQ, like other things to be able to see other than, let's say, ownership or who has the most control, power, or if it's
Mm.
quadratic or etc.?
Yeah, so some other cool things that we've been rolling out. One, which is live and in beta. So if you're a DAO or you like operate a community, you can download this. Is we built an OTC tool. So OTC stands for over-the-counter trading. It's trading that occurs outside of exchanges. And we found that a lot of DAOs have pretty low liquidity on like Uniswap, SushiSwap, and so people are actually just in Discord doing peer-to-peer trading. So they're saying, "Hey, I'll send you this much money if you send these tokens
Ah,
to my wallet." It's like pretty not secure. And so what we've built is a front end on DAO HQ, which is actually a smart contract escrow contract where someone can say, hey, I want to buy or sell this amount of this DAO token. And then if the DAO is integrated, our Discord bot, they'll get pinged and the community can see that order and fill it. So building that out right now to allow communities just to trade better. So less slippage, lower gas fees, deeper liquidity. So that's one. And then the second is we're currently building out a dashboard for DAOs. So this this will be really exciting because you'll basically be able to see everything that you need to know about your DAO that you're already a member in one place. So if our DAO public profile is like the front page of this DAO to the public, this is like the home page once you're a member. So you can see everything you need to know. You can vote. You can see how far your DAO is on its goals, top announcements in Discord, like all of that, all from one tab. And so eventually we're gonna integrate those two products so then you can kind of
ah.
see the high level, choose which DAOs to join, and then once you purchase a token, then you have this much richer dashboard where you can actually engage in your DAO.
I think it'll be like super important just to make sure the UX is on point for something
Yep.
like that. But I'm guessing y'all got that handled. I'm curious, like, where do you see um, like it being smart for a DAO to be integrated into, like, let's say, a game or a gaming studio in crypto? Like, is there any immediate thought that just jumps to your mind where, like, yo, it would be a really good idea if games were a DAO, or like if the governance of X is of like what updates a game does
Mm.
would be a DAO.
Yeah, totally. I think there's two interesting examples. The first is if just like one game itself, maybe it starts as it's a for-profit company and then it spins off a DAO, would be really cool because that gives the community ownership. And so like we see this like with books, with movies, with video games. Like people write fan fiction, people write spin-off games, right? Like people want to help create.
Mm.
And so if there's some actual entity, so that can be a DAO, it's like governed by community members, they can share in the IP and the like creation of a legitimate new things to that game. I think that's super powerful. So if you had let's say I played GTA when I was younger. Let's say we could spin off a GTA like Rockstar has Rockstar DAO. They spin that off, and then everyone who loved Rockstar games can like go in, create new worlds, propose new features, vote on them, and then it gets integrated into the actual game, as opposed to being like like illegal side things that you have to download in order to play them in the game. So I think that could be cool. That's the first example. The second is there's a really awesome DAO called Game 7. So that's more of as opposed to like one game starting as a game and then launching a DAO. They're investment DAO, I believe. I could be wrong this, but about $500 million in their treasury, and they invest just in creating games. And they're also trying to cultivate a really strong community of game designers, developers, smart contract developers, um, just to build games natively and then eventually launch those. So they're more of like in this example, they are like a Rockstar or like other giant gaming company, but for Web3.
Huh. Interesting. Yeah, I really love the idea of, letting users at some point be able to like vote or decide what happens to a game. And you notice that almost all successful games, where the community loves them specifically, have like really appreciated it when these games actually allow you to like, hey, like this change would be really good and whatnot. And that really makes sense. But I think early on with a game, you can't really give users that privilege early on. But once the game is developed, it makes a lot of sense to allow for that. But I try to keep these YouTubes under 10 minutes. There's a bunch of other things I could ask you, but I think we'll end it here as a side comment. I just remember in Miami that you're a really fit dude, man. I was like, there you go, man. It's like you can't see it on the camera, and I'm like, wait a second, I remember this guy was very fit. But yeah, man. But anyway, if you've stayed till the end of the show, thanks for watching. Please feel free to just share it with your friends and family, and really appreciate you guys watching.